this session is actually about the steps in the mock trial. Now, this is about this is actually how it works. This is the Zoltanu procedure for steps. And then we're going to talk a little bit about scoring, in fact, and how we evaluate. We're going to talk about we need to identify people in the mock trial, in the pre-trial hearing. Who are the persons in this? And with that, we're going to appoint people to be in those roles. So you're actually going to go to your name and you're going to change your name. Okay. So Jane, let's start. And how many judges do we have, Jane?
Usually 3.
Okay. So we have 3 or we have 5. We don't have an odd and even number. Well, you know, why don't we have an even number of judges? Anyone know?
Is it because you need one more judge to break the tie?
Yeah, exactly. In case there's a split, right? Very good. So we're gonna need 3 judges. Okay. So for this, but for this, we'll start because we have a limited number of persons. We'll start with 1 judge for this. So we need 1 person to be a judge. Okay. So who wants to be a judge? We need 2 people to be prosecutors. Okay. So who's going to be a prosecutor? Prosecutor 1, prosecutor 2. Prosecutor 1, prosecutor 2.
I think we're going to need some defense witnesses and a couple of defense advocates maybe to help draw out their evidence. So let's 2 defense advocates.
2 defense advocates, okay?
Everybody stand up.
Are the prosecutors and the defense counsel ready?
We are ready to proceed, Your Honor.
We are ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Is the prosecution ready to proceed with the hearing to establish its burden to submit the evidence?
We are ready to proceed, Your Honor. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Senior Officer Strait, could you take the oath?
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, Senior Officer Strait, I will now be conducting my chief examination. Blah, blah, blah.
Answer blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'm done.
Giving cross-examination of Officer Strait. Blah, blah, blah.
Answer blah, blah, blah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I will now re-examine the witness. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you. I will now call upon our second witness, Officer Officer Momo, sorry.
Officer Momo, please take the oath.
Blah, blah, blah.
I will now begin my chief examination of Officer 5. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, I will now begin cross-examination of Officer Momo. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will now re-examine the witness. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor. I will now call upon the third witness, Abby Shutro.
Abby Shutro, could you please take the oath?
Blah, blah, blah.
I will now begin the chief examination of Abby Shutro. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Now conduct the cross-examination of Abby. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I now conclude my cross-examination. No further questions.
I will now begin my re-examination of Abby. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Now call the first witness, the first defense witness to the stand, Ultra Parker.
Ultra Parker, could you take the oath?
Blah, blah, blah.
Now conduct the examination chief of Ultra Parker. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I conclude my examination chief of Ultra Parker. No further questions, Your Honor.
I will now begin my cross-examination of Ultra Parker. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I'll now conduct my re-examination of Ultra Parker. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I now conclude my my re-examination of Ultra Parker. Blah, blah, blah. Concluding, no further questions, Your Honor. I'd now like to call the second witness, Officer Brent, to the stand.
Officer Bent, could you take the oath?
Blah, blah, blah.
I'll now commence examination chief of Officer Brent. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And I'll conclude examination chief of Officer Brent. No further questions, Your Honor.
I will now begin my cross-examination of Officer Bent. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
And now I'll commence my re-examination of Officer Brent. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Finish re-examination. Have no further questions, Your Honor.
I would like to call the third witness, Ima Yanta, to the stand.
Imayanta, could you take the oath?
Blah, blah, blah.
I would like to commence examination in chief of Ima Yanta. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
I will now begin my cross-examination of Imayanta. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I have concluded my cross-examination. No further questions, Your Honor.
I will now do re-examination of Ima Yanta. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
I will now present my closing argument. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Your Honor.
I will now present my closing argument. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up.
This is my decision. Thank you.
All right, so now everybody, we've sent you the handout for the steps in the mock trial. I want you to review the handout briefly, because what you're then going to do is we're going to do the steps, but you're going to do them. You're actually going to you're going to do them. Now, for the oath, because you're going to see there's an oath there, the presiding judge will ask the witness the oath. The witness will raise their right hand and go blah, 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 okay? For the chief examination, when you do the chief, if you're doing chief examination, remember, defense counsel, how many of you, okay, defense counsel 1, how many, and defense counsel 2, defense counsel 1, defense counsel 2, how many chief examinations do you have?
I think for me, it's one chief to cross.
Okay, so you'll do one chief and you'll do 2 cross. That's fine. So defense advocate 1, you're going to do
2 chief and 1 cross.
Perfect, perfect. When you do your chief examination, prosecutors, you're going to go to the witness, blah, blah, blah. So when you ask, and same on cross-examination, when you do cross-examination, you'll go blah, blah, blah. And the witness will go back to you, blah, blah, blah. And the same for re-examination, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and it's going to be confusing to start, but I'm confident by the time we get to the 3rd prosecution witness, I think you're going to get this. So with that, we're going to start this hearing. We're going to start this hearing. So when you are, all the judges, the judge should have your camera on at all times. The clerk should have a camera on. The advocate or the prosecutor asking the question should have the camera on, and the witness being questioned should have the camera on. Everyone else should have the camera off. Okay, Jane, the judges, are the judges, when they go out, are the judges going to be discussing whether to grant or not grant the motion to exclude? And Jane's done this with us many, many a time.
Actually, no. What we're going to be discussing is you. We're going to be discussing your performance as advocates and witnesses. We have a score sheet and we have to give you a score. Ask leading questions or non-leading questions. Did you have a good manner? Were you confident? Did you project your voice well? So you get a mark for presentation skills, you get marks for content. If you're a witness, you get score according to how well prepared you are as a witness, how well you answered the questions. For your opening and closing, you get scored according to how coherent your argument was. Did you emphasize your best points? How persuasive were you? So that's what the judges are going to be discussing when we all go out. We're actually going to be marking all of you and your performance. And then what we will be doing when we come back onto the bench is we will be giving you all some feedback, and we will be then deciding who goes through to the next round based on your scores. And then sometimes we might tell you, well, if I was deciding whether to grant the motion, this is what I think. And I would exclude it all because I'm a defense lawyer and I don't like police acting illegally. That's, if I'm a judge in the mock trial, my job is actually to evaluate your performance, not to judge the actual issue.
Yeah. And that goes back to what we said, you know, the reason that we've created this event. Look, we wrote the case to try to be as balanced as it can be. And this is really a learning experience. And part of this learning experience for you all is to be evaluated and to get feedback. You'll be on a team, and the prosecution, the prosecutors and the prosecution witnesses will each be evaluated. In the chat, we've listed the score sheets, and it shows you what you're going to be evaluated on. And at the end, the judges will evaluate each prosecutor and each prosecution witness and each defense advocate and each defense witness. They will add up the points for the entire team, and the team that has the most points technically advances up, although you don't stay as a team, and we're going to explain that in a bit. Because remember, I told you, you're going to change hats, change teams. It gets crazy. It's chaotic. It's a deck of cards. It's like going to a casino and you're constantly reshuffling the cards and reshuffling the cards. And it's a crazy, chaotic experience where you'll be doing this with different team members, different countries, different levels of language. But in the end, we're really evaluating how well you all do. We said this early yesterday, just by entering into this training workshop now, you've all really won. You've gone through 2 amazing days. We talked about this to this to this. These skills and knowledge and values of access to justice and rule of law are transferable in Singapore, or if you're in Mexico, or if you're in Russia or Japan, they're transferable, as are most of the skills. Maybe a little bit different on the actual law and procedure, but for the most part, you're going to be able to carry this forward. So you've already all won.